And special gratitude to all of you for joining. Reenu Mataji, thank you so much for joining. Lakshay Prabhu and Babukanan Prabhu, thank you. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time on a Saturday evening. Or it's not easy. It's when we have many things to do in life. But those who take out time for the topmost thing, that is to understand the goal of life, to understand what is really important in life, and how we can achieve that, those souls are very rare and they are amazing. And today we will study about that amazing verse as well. So before we kind of jump into today's discussion, any comments, any thoughts from the last time? Session number 7, we discussed 13 to 20. Anyone remembers any quick points from last time? Yes, want to share or for a quick recap? Yes, Ravi Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, all devotees. Yes, Prabhuji, the first itself in the beginning of class, the line that you mentioned, that tolerance will lead to liberation. That's something really struck. Once who knows to tolerate the dualities of life, the path of liberation is well made.
Yes, that's actually a verse as it is. Anyone knows which verse we are referring to here? Text number 15. Text number 15, as it is, says that in the translation, one who is tolerant in happiness and distress. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that point. Anyone else has any other comments, any thoughts from last time's discussion before we jump into today's?
Prabhuji, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can everyone else hear me? Okay. Lakshay, can you please check your speaker or sound volume? Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts from last discussion? Any highlights, what you remember, what we discussed in the last discussion in session 7? Anyone? Yes, Aradhana Mataji, please share.
I remembered we talked about the acronym BMW to stop this constant blaming, mourning, and wailing throughout our lifetime.
Yes. That's such a important point. Thank you for sharing. Because practically whole of our life, everyone is, not everyone, but majority of the population is in that mode, right? He did this to me, she did this to me. Oh, I wish the world would have been fair to me, and in all that we kind of miss to really kind of either lamenting about the past or hankering about the future. Great souls mentioned yesterday was mystery. Sorry, yesterday was history. It's already gone. Tomorrow is mystery, correct? We don't know what's going to come tomorrow. But today is a gift, and that's why it's called present, right? So in the mystery and history, we kind of miss to unwrap the beautiful gift of present. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, Avani, want to share something?
How your foundation should be strong.
So everyone remembers the spiritual arithmetic we did, 1 plus 1. If 1 plus 1 becomes 2, that's wrong. Sorry, that's correct. If 1 plus 1 becomes 3, that's 3 stands for body. The first one is I, second one is am. And then the following calculations may be correct, but the outcome would be wrong. And that's what we see, correct? I mean, you open the newspaper and the newspaper is full of those things. Like or we see the news. I was just this came across, someone shared with me that a woman in Virginia, she shot down her 5 children, and then she killed her own self, and then she burned the house. Can you imagine that? I'm not concocting all this. This is present new. This is what's going on in the world. Why? Wrong foundation. Not understanding who, and this is not just one isolated case. There are hundreds and such things going on in the world today. So if we have the right foundation, that means we are the spirit soul, then our life will go very smoothly. Okay, so I guess we will now move to today's discussion. So we will start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare. Again, my deepest gratitude to all of you for taking out your valuable time to study Bhagavad Gita on this day. Thank you for those who joined just in the last couple of minutes. Mohan, Kanti, Prabhu, Prabir Prabhu, Vipul Prabhu, Nayan Prabhu, Karthik Prabhu. Thank you, Nika Mataji, and Nikant Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining. So we will get started with the next verse. So we read till text number 20 last time, 19, sorry. We read till text number 19, I believe, last time. And we were talking about the soul. We're talking about the body and the soul, the dynamics of soul. So this will be kind of the last point. And then you may be wondering why again, body, okay, I get it. Now, come on, keep moving. Now, what next, right? You may be talking like that. But why does Krishna, it's not that I'm repeating. The Supreme Lord is repeating these points again and again, again and again. Why? Because we need to set the foundation right. So it's better to spend some more time on the foundation than to hurry to build the building, correct? If we don't spend quality time on the foundation, then all the following calculations will go wrong. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is repeating that point again and again for Arjuna, and actually not for Arjuna, for all of us, so that we can understand this point, that how I'm not the body, I'm not this, flesh or hands or eyes or nose. We did that exercise also, you remember? But I am something different. I am the spirit soul, like the driver of the car. Okay. So let's continue our discussion from text number 20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Would someone want to read the translation? Yes, Vedi, please. And Karina, you will need the next one.
Hare Krishna. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So, we discussed in the last verse also the same topic, that the soul is never slain. The body is slain. That means the body will die, correct? The body is temporary. Some bodies will live few years, some bodies live few decades, some bodies live few hundreds of years, like like turtles, etc. They have much bigger lifespan. Some insects have a few days of lifespan, but the soul is not slain. It is unborn, eternal, ever existing, primeval. In short, it is eternal. There is no birth and death for the soul, correct? And it is a tiny, we discussed that, 1/10,000th uh, in thickness. If you take the tip of the hair and divide that into 10,000 parts, that's kind of the just a way to help us to understand. It is so tiny, so subtle. It is not a gross thing which we can see with our eyes. We can feel the presence of the soul through consciousness. And consciousness is the symptom of soul. So the body goes through changes, correct? Would anyone like to say what changes the body goes through? Any thoughts on that? Who would like to share? What changes the
There
body?
are,
Sorry, go ahead,
Hare
please.
Krishna,
Yes, please.
there are 7 ages. That is
7.
childhood. Yeah,
Nice.
as said by all. And when we take birth, we have to go through this transformation. It is childhood, adolescent, old age, after youth. And this ages, everybody has to pass. And there are so many transformation till death.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely correct. That how the body changes, correct? In text number 20, sorry, I reached to 17. We're at 20th verse. So the Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the body goes through changes, and primarily the 6 changes are mentioned. 6 kinds of transformations, like the birth, time to grow, and then children are born, family, etc. And then old age, the body and all the bodily capacity starts to dwindle. And then finally there is death of the body. But does the soul also kind of increase in size? Oh, first it's like a baby soul, and then there's an adult soul, and then there is again dwindling soul, and then the soul dies. No, that does not refer to the soul. The soul is eternal. The soul always remains the same. That's a very, very important point. So Krishna is basically kind of destroying all the doubts of here Arjuna by giving the knowledge of bhakti. So very, very important point Prabhupada is also mentioning in the purport here, that there is difference now between the Anu Atma and the Paramatma. Anu means insignificant, tiny, Anu. And Paramatma refers to the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport here, in the last, it's a long purport, that, and therefore it's very, very important to understand what's the difference between Atma and Paramatma. So I will share that again so we can read this important section. There are two kinds of souls, okay, namely the minute particle, that is Anuatma, referring to us, we are that, and the Vibhu Atma, the super soul or Paramatma also. So they are both situated on the same tree. So this is mentioned in the Shvetashvar Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, and other scriptures as well, that they are both referred to or are seated on the same tree of the heart. One is Anuatma and one is Paramatma. They are both present where? Inside. The Lord manifests inside every living being and always accompanies us as the Paramatma, no matter in whatever species we may be. He is present in the dog's body also. When the soul or let's say if I am in the next birth get a dog's body, will the Paramatma leave me? No, he'll never leave me. My family may leave me. My things, the so-called my job, my education, will they go with me? No. Let me share a story now. Okay, story time, because all of you like stories, correct? So once upon a time, there was a man who had 4 wives, all 4K. Their name started with K. The first wife was Kaya. Okay. Next wife's name was Kanchana. The third wife's name was Kamini, and the fourth wife's name was Karuna. Kaya, Kanchana, and Kamini, and Karuna. Okay, everyone with me till this point? Okay, hear attentively, because now the twist will come. And this person was very, very wealthy, and used to give lot of attention to the first wife, who was Kaya. He was giving a lot of jewelry and gifts and kind of obeying all her words and trying to make her as happy as possible. And then the next wife also, he used to love, try to offer some things. Of course, not as much as the first one, but little less. In the descending order, the first wife, he spent most time, energy, resources. The next one, good time, energy, resources, but not as much as the first one. The third one, Kamini, he did spend time and energy, but kind of less than the second one. And then fourth one, he practically ignored. No time, no kind of, he never bothered to ask, how are you doing? How I can serve you, how I can strengthen my relationship with you, because he was too busy with the first and then second and then the third. He practically ignored the fourth wife and never bothered to take care of her. Now, time passes fast, right? How many of you feel time passes fast, right? Almost everyone feels like that, right? It's already end of March, right? To feel that the new year just started just few days back, correct? And it's already 3 months have passed. Time passes fast, and time will pass fast, no matter we are 10-year-old or 50-year-old or 100-year-old or anywhere in between. Time we'll always feel, but what we use in that time is a matter of choice. Remember, between B and D comes choice. Between birth and death comes the C of choice. So now his time also passed fast, and it was the time of death. He was on his deathbed. And then he thought, well, I have great wives with me. I have like 4 wives, 3 of them I spend good time. They will help me out, correct? The story is kind of very similar to the story of the foolish king. So he asks, oh Kaya, oh my dear Kaya, I spent so much time with you. I gave you so many nice gifts and jewelry and necklaces and whatnot. Whatever you said, I gave you. Now my time of death is coming. Will you Will you come with me? Hmm? She said, no. Hmm. I can't come with you. Hmm? Because I'll be gone as soon as you go. Just in a matter of few days, I'll be gone. So I can't accompany you, sorry. He was kind of so upset. Oh my God, whole life I kind of took care of you to the best of my abilities, and that's what you're treating me with, right? Okay, some hope. Next wife. Oh dear Kamini, sorry, Kanchan, I spent so much time with you. I gave you everything to the best of my abilities. Now, will you accompany with me? Now I'm, about to die. Kanchan said, no. The moment you die, I will marry someone else. Oh my God, that was another blow on his, face. So the moment you die, I'll marry someone else. Oh, he was like shattered. So somehow, third wife. Oh dear Kamini, I said, I did spend some good time and gave you a lot of things in my life. Will you accompany me? Now I'm dying. Will you accompany me? Kamini said, I will accompany you only till your graveyard, or only till your, wherever you bury or put the body in the ground. Until that point, I'll accompany you. After that, on your own. I can't accompany you further. I have my own things to take care. So he was completely devastated. He had no courage even to ask the fourth wife. With what face he will go and ask, right? And then the fourth wife kind of was seeing all this and talked to this husband that, my dear husband, I will accompany you. No matter you didn't take care of me by spending any time with me or by giving me anything in life, but I will still accompany you. The fourth wife of Karuna. So what's the first wife? Kaya. Kaya refers to body. Our body, will it accompany us to the next life? No, the body will be changed. No matter how much we beautify our body, no matter how strong our body is, no matter we are 2 feet tall or 6 feet tall or 100 pounds or 500 pounds, the body, no matter we are Mr. World, Miss World, or what we are or who we are, or all the bodily designations, it won't go with us. The second wife is the wife of representing Kanchana. Kanchan means gold. No matter we have 0 grams of gold or 10 kilograms of gold, the moment we die, they will marry someone else. That means either the children will take it, or the husband or wife will take it, or the dogs will take it. Correct? If you don't trust me, Google it out. The world's richest dogs. They have more property than many, many millionaires. Because their owner leave their heritage on the name of dogs. So after I die, my dog will be wealthy and rich. He will be taken care. And this is all facts. And sorry to say, the harsh reality, again, a piece of news just came. My friend shared a dog, a pit bull dog, was eating his food in some state or in US, of course. And the little 1 year old, okay, 1 year old tried to get closer to the dog, and the pit bull just got mad and killed the baby. The end. These are not, my concocted stuff. This is all reality of life. So you can again share it. You may have seen a lot of cute videos, oh, baby playing with dog and this and that, right? Like, but people don't share these things, correct? Try to hide the reality, but this is reality also. I'm not trying to scare any one of the things, but we know what's going on in the world. An intelligent person should see the world from the true perspective, from the true foundation. So, Kanchana, Either the government will take it, the wealth, the property, the cars, the gold, whatever, assets, property, wealth, bank balance. Will it go with us? No, it won't go with us. Someone will take it. They will remarry, right? Third wife, Kamini, refers to our friends, relatives, no matter how good or bad friends, relatives, mother, father, children, grandchildren, etc. we may have. Till what point they accompany us? Till the graveyard, till the cremation ground, right? After that, they are in their own life, right? Will any of our parents or children or grandchildren accompany us? No. But what really accompanies us, my friends, is Paramatma, the fourth wife of Karuna. And tomorrow is Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu's appearance. He especially came in this day and age. Parama Karuna Pahudujana. He's the most merciful incarnation. Krishna is little, you know, little tough. He says, Sarv Dharman Parityaja. He says, you give up everything and then, take shelter of me. Lord Nityanand Prabhu, Lord Balaram, um, when someone didn't behave the right way, Lord Balaram kind of just killed him. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu were begging to everyone, please understand the real goal of life. Please understand what is this human form of life meant for. It is not just meant for Kaya, Kanchan and Kamini. It is meant for the real Karuna, for the real compassion, to turn towards Paramatma, to turn towards our true friend. He is right there in our heart. He's right there present with us. All we have to do is turn towards Him. All we have to do is try to understand that by reading Bhagavad Gita, by chanting the holy name, by taking good association of like minded devotees, so that we can turn towards Him, so that we can understand that Kaya, Kamini, and Kanchan. I'm not saying to not take care of the body or to, sever the relationship with families, etc., or to stop, maintaining the home. All those, but we should not compromise the Karuna. We should not compromise. That is the main thing. Our love with Karuna, or with our love with the Supreme Lord, should be the foremost priority of our life, and other things like family, taking care of our job, our health, are like the principles surrounding it. If the fourth wife, the Supreme Lord, is missing, then the other things will not make, you know will not make anything meaningful in life. As Mahabharata says, Ahar Nidra Bhai Methunam cha Samanya Etat Pashubi Narana Dharma hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharma vina pashubi narana. Without dharma, or without Krishna consciousness, there is no difference between animals and humans. Again, the scriptures are saying, I'm just repeating those words. So this is text number 20, very, very important. So that, and why is Krishna giving this message to Arjuna? Because he turned towards Krishna. He wanted to get guidance. And we are reading that if we also turn towards him, then the darkness will be gone, because Krishna is like the sun, right? When do we see shadow? Raise your hand. When do we see our shadow? Who will tell? Okay, Avinash, Prabhu, want to share?
When sun is there, then we can see the shadow.
Okay, that's partially correct. Who would like to kind of add to it? When do we see our shadow? Yes, Shreya?
When there's a light shining on you.
When there's light shining. Okay, let me give you options, okay? 50-50. Well, we will see our shadow when we are, facing the sun, or when we are away or facing our back to the sun. Who will say first option? Raise your hand. When we are facing sun, we will see shadow. Who will say we're facing back to the sun, we'll see shadow. Okay, so most of you say when we are facing back. That's absolutely correct. Because, and you can try this at home also. So, shadow represents darkness. Krishna represents the sun of light. So when we are facing the Supreme Lord, that means we have that bird has turned towards that. Imagine the two birds right now. The two birds, the living bird is facing that side, and Paramatma is always there. Oh, when will my child look towards me? Oh, the jiva is busy. No, no, I'm busy. Ah, I'm busy in Kaya, Kanchan, Kamini. No, no, no. The Paramatma says, oh, please come for Bhagavad Gita class. Sorry, I'm busy. I don't have time. Please, I'll come later. Maybe with my dead bed, I'll come. Oh, please come for, some Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthday is there. Can you please come? No, 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 no. Oh, I have my sister's birthday. I need to go there. Oh, can you please come for this Janmashtami festival? Oh, no, 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 no. Last year I came 5 years back. I had my, it was enough. Again and again, Paramatma is telling through Guru, through Bhagavad Gita, come, 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 come. If you come one step to me, I'll come 1,000 steps towards you. But the jiva is busy. But by the causeless mercy, somehow or the other, by the causeless mercy of the devotees and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are reaching out to help the jiva turn towards Paramatma. And then Paramatma will come closer, and the jiva will come closer, and then they will be always happy. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hoy Andhakar, Yaha Krishna Ta Nahi Mayar Adhikar. Where there is the Supreme Lord, right? Then there is no darkness in that person's life. Where there is absence of light, then there is darkness. Where there is Krishna, where there is Arjuna, that's the last or close to the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Sanjaya says that wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna or a great devotee, there is no darkness. Gunakesha, you remember we discussed the word Gunakesha. He who overcomes darkness. Who overcomes darkness? A devotee overcomes darkness. How? By the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, by the Lord's presence in one's life. Then one will not be disturbed. Like just I shared this story for those who joined later. One woman kind of shot her 5 children. This is all very recent, a couple of weeks back. Shot her 5 children, then shot herself, and at the same time, burned the home also. Just imagine what's going on in this world. It's very sad to even, we know the recent shootings. I mean, every day practically they're happening nowadays. A crazy person, just kind of killed 10 people, right? Most of you may have heard this in Colorado. What were they all in their 70s or 80s? Some were in 20s, some were in 30s, some were in 40s or 50s, 60s. They were all different age, different socioeconomic background, right? We don't know what's going to come tomorrow. So we should always take out some time of our day to turn towards, not away, but towards Krishna. And then all the darkness will be gone. That's what Arjuna is doing here. So we should not be too busy in just the 3 other wives, Kaya, Kamini, and Kanchan, but we should turn toward the Supreme Lord. That's the message. Let's read the next verse. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatyati hanti kam. Yes, Karina, you want to read this one?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Oh Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable, kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Kind of the same message that the soul is indestructible. And one who knows this, cannot kill anyone because the soul is indestructible. Now, does that mean, I'll go and start like, the crazy person could have said, well, look at Bhagavad Gita 2.21. I didn't kill anyone. The soul is indestructible. That's nonsense, right? So Prabhupada is mentioning here, we cannot use these to kind of say, oh, I'll kill animals, I'll eat them, or I'll kill other people, is the Supreme Lord telling us to do? Are the social codes or the spiritual codes telling us to do so? No, right? So we should not kind of do things whimsically without the guidance of the scriptures or the spiritual master. Text 22, very, very important. Vansam sijirnani yatha vihaya nava nigrinanti naro parani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Yes, Chakrika, Mataji, please.
As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, and the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up and the old and useless ones. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. How many of you have gone to a garment shop? Everyone, right? Practically everyone. So there are different garment, like shops and different colors and different varieties. Let's say you have to buy a kind of upper wear. Then you can buy shirt, you can buy t-shirt, you can buy polo collar, you can buy yellow color and bright color and with embroidery and this and that. There are so many options. You can sleeveless or what, there are like hundreds of options, correct? Similarly, Krishna's garment shop also has multiple options, right? There are so many species. And how many of you feel happy to give up the old useless clothes and get new clothes? Raise your hand genuinely. Do you feel very sad? Oh, I have to give up my torn clothes 10 years back, which I bought it. No, we kind of generally, or the same with the car. If the car is kind of very old and not working properly, and the person gets a new car, the person will have a sense of happiness, at least in general terms. Same with the garment. If the garment is beaten down and torn and wearing out, generally a person will be happy, correct? So the person is not changing, putting the garments, right? The garments are changing. So similarly, the garment here represents body, correct? And the soul here represents the person who is wearing those garments, correct? Is everyone on the same page? So similarly, as the body gets old or sometimes withered down, um, the soul gets a new body. Very, very simple. So now there are different species and different bodies, right? Like a polar bear, they sleep for 6 months. And these bodies are based on, these garment shop are based on our desires, right? Demand and supply, because there is a lot of variety, correct? And then in that garment shop, there will be a lot of variety because people from different backgrounds come. Some will say, I don't like yellow color. I don't want to buy this. I'll buy the white color only. Some will say, no, I don't like this thing. I'll get that. So based on our desires and based on our karma, we will get a different body. The science of reincarnation, correct? If someone says, well, I want to know like Kumkaran, sleep for 12 hours every day, sleep for 14 hours every day, don't disturb me, just let me relax. Krishna says, well, he's very merciful. You want a body which I will give you a garment which is suited for you. How about that? Right? A polar bear body. Sleep nicely, no one will disturb you. So similarly, based on our inclinations, if someone says, well, I want to eat a lot of flesh, okay, I want to eat flesh, and someone has that kind of, so Krishna will say, well, this human body is not designed for it. I gave you this chance. This human body is meant for something higher, but you want to eat that, I will give you a body of a tiger. The tigers, their job is to eat flesh, correct? They don't get, so human life is called karma yoni. There's a very important difference. Human life is like a junction where we have the right to choose. Animals can't choose whether should I eat flesh or not. Like a tiger will eat the deer, and because they are in the bhoga yoni. The animal yoni or an animal garment is called bhoga yoni. Bhoga means they're receiving. They're receiving the reactions of their past choices. And through this transmigration process, they'll go to different species, and then Krishna will again give chance to become a human, which we are all blessed with, right? We are all in the human species. Now, human species means a life of choice. Like dogs don't have a choice, should I attend Bhagavad Gita class or not? Elephants don't have a choice, should I attend Bhagavad Gita class or not? But all of the humans do have the choice, correct? And you made that right choice. Some people don't want to make that choice. For some people, making a choice to go to a bar at this time is important for them. Okay? So Lord will not force us, right? If we turn our face away from Him, He will not force us, right? He's like a spectator bird. There are two birds, and in this purport, Prabhupada elaborates that point in text number 22. Again, the Jiva and the Paramatma. So I'll read this part. Although they are friends, okay, Krishna is the witnessing bird and Arjuna is the eating bird. That means who is doing actions, okay? Although they are friends, one is still the master, the witnessing bird, and the other is the servant. That means the doer bird. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul, Anu Atma, is the cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another or from one body to another. One keeps jumping, oh, there are more fruits in that tree. Oh, let me go there. Oh, maybe there are more facilities in that body. People change bodies also, right? Plastic surgeries and all this. Oh, I think if I get that done, and sorry to say, people change. There are sex changing surgeries also going on. But all this is not the goal of human form of life, because ultimately, Kaya, Kamini, and Kanchan are not the eternal reality. So forgetfulness of real relationship, who am I, who is God, and what's my sambandha, what's my relationship, is the real cause of disturbance. When we understand that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, then we will no longer struggle. The jiva, the soul, is struggling very hard on the tree of material body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as a supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntary surrender. Now, again, this Bhagavad Gita class is voluntary. We are not forcing anyone or dragging you from your homes. Hey, come for Gita class, otherwise you'll be fined, right? This is totally voluntary. Bhakti is voluntarily. It is totally voluntary, because Krishna gives that choice. Krishna gives that choice. Yatha ichsi tatha kuru. In the end, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke everything and told Arjuna, I have spoken you all the things. Now it's your choice. So similarly, the Guru will also speak the instructions. And what will he say? It is your choice, whether you want to follow it or not. My thing is to give you the right advice. So a pure devotee, a guru, a genuine well-wisher, spiritual well-wisher, or the Supreme Lord, they are on the same platform. They will give the right advice. And all of you are intelligent. The intelligent people take to it, but the less intelligent may not take to it, and then they will continue to lament. But if we take to it, then we become immediately free from all the lamentation. Govinda. So very, very important point, that how Arjuna had turned his face to his real teacher, his well-wisher. Arjuna has turned his face towards his eternal friend Krishna and is understanding Bhagavad Gita from him. And thus, hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be free from all lamentation. Very, very important point. And I hope that you're all also reading. Of course, we're not reading all the purports word to word, but we take important sections, and in your time, I certainly encourage everyone or request everyone to please go through the purports as well. Any thoughts or comments so far? Any reflections so far? Before we read the next one. Everyone still awake? Give a thumbs up, or if it's still okay. Okay, you're all still awake. You have a lot of good tolerance, I must say. You're following Bhagavad Gita. You're tolerating. You have a good patience and tolerance. These are very nice spiritual qualities. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. And how about this now? We will read 23, 24, and 25, and then we will discuss, and then we will read the next. Okay, so we'll go in, because these are kind of this on the similar lines. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, naichainam kledyantyaapo, nashoshati marutaha. Yes, would someone like to read this one? Translation?
Prabhuji, may I read?
Yes, Mishra Prabhu, please go ahead. And then
So
Shreya, next one you can read.
the translation of the sloka is, the soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind.
Thank you. Very nice. As I mentioned, we'll go into the next one and then discuss all these together, because they are all talk about the soul. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo ashoshya evacha nitya sarvagata sthanur achaloyam sanatanaha. Yes, Shreya Mataji, please.
Should I?
Yeah, after Shreya, next one, Aparna Mataji, you can read, but yeah, Shreya, please go ahead.
This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same.
Thank you. Text 25. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. Yes, Aparna Mataji, please.
It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. A lot of wonderful points are coming about the qualities of the soul. Okay, the qualities of soul. It cannot be cut into pieces. The body can be cut, right? I can cut my nails. I can cut other parts, if you know. And sometimes, you know, we get little finger cut. But can we chop the soul like that? No. Can we destroy by weapons? The body can be destroyed. And there are different weapons. Nowadays, we are only aware of fire weapons. In previous days, you may have even heard or seen in some kind of spiritual videos, like water weapons, fire weapons, air weapons, etc. They were much advanced at that time. In all those times, we don't know about fire weapons, or is there a weapon which can cause like torrential rain, or torrential storm? No. But earlier they had those weapons. The point is, the soul cannot be cut by any of the weapons, or the soul cannot be destroyed by any means, because it is eternal. It is eternal. The individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul. I repeat that point if those who like to make notes. It is in the purport for text 23. The individual soul are eternally separated parts of the Super Soul, or the Paramatma, or the Supreme Lord. So there is no here merging, oh, the soul will merge with the Supreme Lord. If we turn towards him, some people say, oh, if we turn towards him, that they lose their identity. No. If there's a green tree and the two parrots are sitting on the tree and the parrots are also green, does that mean that everything is green? There is no difference in the parrot, or the one parrot and the two parrot, or the tree. They may be green, they may be everything, but the two parrots still remain the two parrots. One is the servant parrot and one is the master parrot. That's their true relationship. Then the very, very important point in text number 24 is that the soul is present everywhere. Sarvagataha. Sarvagata means there is life everywhere. There is life there are fire bacteria, right? Who exist in fire. So basically there are particles or microbes which live in the air or live in the water. There are species which live in the water, species which fly, species which live on land, etc. So sarvagataha. And then the next point is, it is inconceivable. If someone says, well, oh, I am a PhD in physics and I'm a very intelligent person, I can understand soul. Let me get my minutest of my telescopes and microscopes and cut this person's body into a million pieces and try to dissect everything and try to understand soul. Sorry. Bhagavad Gita is telling we cannot understand that a subtle thing. It is spiritual. Soul is by material means. Like, how many of you know how to measure distance? Like any distance, like a measuring tape, right? It's like 10 feet or 5 feet or 6 inches. You can measure it, right? We need a tool for that. How many of you would need a tool, right? And what's a tool? The measuring tape. How many of you know how to measure weight? Like a weighing scale gives a weight. You stand on the scale, it gives the weight, 100 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. But now, if I tell you, you have to measure the weight by the measuring tape. How many of you can do that? We can't do it, right? So even to measure one material thing, we need a specific tool or a process, correct? We can't measure weight with the measuring tape. Weight tape. Interesting. Similarly, we can't even do one material measurement with another material tool. How can we measure or understand the inconceivable spirit soul by a material tool or material intelligence or telescope or microscope or all these things? No, we can't conceive like that. We need a spiritual process. We can understand soul through a spiritual process. And what is that process? The process of learning from the bona fide teacher, as Arjuna is doing, as Krishna is explaining him the process. Okay, so like we have discussed this point, there is no source of understanding the identity of the father except the authority of the mother, right? This is in the purport. So we need to develop a spiritual eyes. We need to spiritualize our eyes with the spiritual process. Then we can understand soul. Then we can understand, oh, it's interesting, it's amazing. So let's now move on to text 26. It's an interesting verse also. Atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahato mahabaho nainam shochitum arhasi. Yes, Lakshay, Prabhu. And then Avani will go next.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty aunt. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, there is a slight change in the topic here. Until this point, Krishna was talking about the soul and the qualities of the soul, right? The soul is eternal, body is temporary, soul changes, goes from one body to the other, like how we change garments. Now, if, however, there's a break in the paragraph, right? If, however, you think, well, the soul is nothing, right? The soul is born and dies. So basically now Krishna is doing checkmate, because Arjuna kind of in his illusory state felt like that the body and soul are the same. The body is born, soul dies, body dies. If Krishna is saying, well, if you think like that, there is still no reason to lament, because if it has to die, it has to die. Why are you lamenting of something which has to die? Many people, many so-called religions, many pseudo religions, Prabhupada is using the word pseudo religions in the purport, they and becoming fashionable in America, where most of us are from now presently, they are adhering to this philosophy. Why? Because this philosophy kind of promotes, oh, there is no rebirth. Beg, borrow, or steal, enjoy, right? Who cared? There is no rebirth. You don't have to suffer the consequences. You don't have to suffer the law of karma. Enjoy, beg, borrow, or steal. Rinam kritva ghritam pivet. You murder others. You take loans. You don't pay them off. You don't have to suffer any consequences. You get things you want. Enjoy. Life is just meant to enjoy. Live life king size. Work hard, party harder. All these are the slogans of modern day and age. But that's not the real thing. Life, if we think what is life? Body, is made up of some compounds like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, aluminum. All these compounds are present. And one devotee kind of did research based on the masses and the volumes and the quantity of these chemicals. It's only worth $5. You can buy those chemicals, those products, like 100 grams of calcium, 10 grams of phosphorus, whatever, all these constituents. Or even if in the high inflation, you can buy it for $50. Correct? Is that the worth of life? Or is it something higher? So the pseudo religions, many so-called religions don't believe in the science of reincarnation. But Bhagavad Gita does not say that. Bhagavad Gita clearly tells about the journey of the soul based on the karma. And this is a fundamental principle of Bhagavad Gita, which we will talk more also. So we should not accept any Tom, Dick, Harry talking about anything. Even in Bible, in the true Bible, it is mentioned about reincarnation. But there's a long story that why some sections of Bible were kind of changed by some of the kings, so that they were even scared. Oh, I will have to go to hell to suffer my consequences. So they changed many sections of Bible also. And there in Thailand, there is a hell park, like amusement park. There's a hell park. I'm not joking. I'm not making all these things up. So which also tells that all the in all the worlds, that their ancient texts talk about the same thing. So there is rebirth. In short, there is rebirth after uh, of the soul. The body will go to the 5 elements, but the soul will keep moving. Now the next verse talks about it. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Yes, Avani?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, one who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clear, right? One who has taken birth, and what is that? The body, because the soul does not take birth, is sure to die. And after death, one is sure to take birth again. That means one will get a new body, because the soul, we have discussed, changes garments. So we have to do our part, correct? And what is the best thing, we will discuss later, that how is there a way we can avoid this thing so that we can be in our true eternal state. That will be discussed later. But let's keep moving, because all these are on the similar lines about body and soul. So very, very important lines here. Just read that quickly. Arjuna did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful actions of which he was so afraid. In short, Arjuna was not breaking the law, and we have discussed that why he was fighting or why fighting was the right thing. Multiple reasons we have discussed. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives. Yes. So if he does not kill them, will they live forever? No. And he would be degraded due to his selection of wrong path. So if we don't do the right duty, then it's not that the world will stop. Things will still happen. Krishna is telling the things will still happen. Better you choose the right path. I'm giving you a choice to choose. I'm trying to help you to choose the right path and not be, afflicted with a wrong decision. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktani dhyani eva tatra ka paridevanam. Yes, Aparna Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. All created beings are manifest in their beginnings, manifest in their internal state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So now Krishna is telling that everything, whether let's say talk about this pencil or any material thing, did it existed forever? No, it was in its unmanifested state. That means the raw materials. And now it's in its manifest state, correct? And will it always be in its manifest state? No, everything comes with an expiration date, right? Whether it's a building or it's a car. So car was in its unmanifested state, like in the iron ore, iron core ore, and then the ore and the steel and all those are come together, plastic and whatever components are required to make that car. They come in their manifested state by machining and multiple operations, and the car is assembled. And after some time, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years, whatever the lifespan is, it goes back to those elements, right? Same with the home, same with the body, right? From dust to dust, right? In some religions they bury it. In some religions they put in the ground, or some they put the ashes in the water. But dust to dust, right? No. So this is the kind of the understanding here. The manifest state is the interim state. It's not the true state, in the sense that it is a temporary phase. Body is temporary, but the soul is eternal. Atheistic people do not believe, Prabhupada is mentioning, atheistic people do not believe in the science of soul. And we have discussed why. Would anyone like to give some reasons why they don't believe? Let's discuss this point. Why they don't believe in the science of soul? Anyone? We have discussed a few points. Let's take a few reflections. Why atheistic people don't believe in this? Why they just think body is everything? Yes, Abhishek ji.
Because they haven't seen them. We haven't seen them.
Yeah, they think that seeing is believing. They think I'll try to understand by my own. And we have discussed that that's not the best way to attain knowledge. Correct?
Mhm.
So their source of attaining knowledge is flawed, maybe. Very nice point. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. They are afraid of losing. That's what.
Afraid of losing? Losing what, Prabhu?
Losing any of their material possessions.
Yes, they are afraid of losing their material possessions or the material comfort. Oh, if I get to know their soul, or if there is rebirth, that means, and that's actually, there's a book actually. That's how in some of the Bibles, this concept of reincarnation was removed. Why? Because there was a great queen of this great king. I mean, great queen in the sense she had a lot of material things, but she was not of good character. She had a bad character, let's put it this way. And now the Bible said that, well, people of this character will have to suffer in hell. Now she said, king, something you have to do. Otherwise, people are reading Bible and they'll think, oh, the queen is going to hell. So the king kind of, through his powers and resources, got everything changed. And there are facts and everything. So yes, this why? Because, oh, I will have to suffer. Let me just put my head in the ground. Very nice point. And think that I'm safe. So ignorance of law is not an excuse. We may do that, but there is a flaw in that reasoning. Correct? Like this ostrich. Think about this ostrich. When the tiger of death comes, she puts the hand in the sand. Oh, sorry, the head in the sand, and thinks, oh, I am safe. She's safe, right? Ignorance of law is not an excuse. If I think there will be no rebirth, if I think this life is all in all, the laws will not change for me, correct? Because these are the laws of the Supreme Lord. If I come, from India to America and drive on the left side, thinking, oh, I've always been driving on the left side. Why are you giving me a ticket? No one told me. Because it's our duty to first inquire, to first familiarize ourselves with the law. Ignorance. If a child puts hand in the fire, will the fire excuse the child? Oh, little child, 2-year-old does not know that the fire is supposed to burn. So let's not be like ostrich or be consciously unaware. Very nice point. Anyone else? Yes, Aradhana, Mataji.
Possibly fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Yes.
Because you cannot see the soul, you cannot feel it, So I think maybe that's one of the reasons why that they don't believe in soul.
Yes, that's also certainly one of the reasons. And one of the main reasons is that they are too busy in their materialistic lifestyle, correct? In the wrong foundation, not even desire to get to the right foundation. So a lot of reasons, and even if someone understands from a open-minded, even if someone is open-minded, rational, one can understand the concept of reincarnation. What is anyone can give any logical reason without the concept of reincarnation? Why is someone born in a millionaire's family, and why is someone born in a beggar's family? If there is no reincarnation, there is no logical reason to give rationale to this. Are you getting my point? The only rationale is the past karma, correct? The only logical reason is past karma. That means there is rebirth. That means the soul keeps moving in different body. Otherwise, why is someone born in a millionaire's family? Why is someone born disabled? And why is someone born in a beggar's family on a street? So this is the only reason. Now, I promise that we will read the amazing verse, so that will be kind of the last. So we'll quickly read the amazing verse, because all of you are certainly amazing who come to study Bhagavad Gita. Should we read the amazing verse? What do you all amazing devotees say? Okay, all of you are still very enthusiastic. Okay. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschit enam ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah ascharyevat chainam anya shrunoti shrutyapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Would someone like to read the translation for this one? Yes, Megha Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing. and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. For those who don't know, Megha Mataji is my first cousin, and she is in Canada, living with her wonderful family there. So thank you for joining all the way from Canada. So amazing word. This verse is called the amazing verse. Why? There are three things: the soul, the people, and the process. Correct? So the amazing is referred to both the subject and the object. Okay, and I'll explain what that means. Our Acharya explained that. So look at the soul. It is so infinitesimal, isn't it? 1/10,000th of the tip of the hair, but it can run big rails. They are so huge, and it can run a tiny microbe also, right? Like a tiny driver can run a cycle, a bicycle, and he can run steam engines and big trains also, right? Similar way. That's amazing. Similarly, anything related to the soul, that how it is amazing, it cannot be destroyed. All the qualities we learned about the soul, isn't it amazing? That the soul cannot be destroyed by wind, water, rain, anything. And now talking about the people who hear about or who try to understand about, that's also very amazing. Why? Because there are millions and millions of people or jivas, but how many of them try to understand the process of Krishna consciousness from the right authorities? That's very amazing, isn't it? When Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked what is the most amazing thing by Yaksha, he said everyone is seeing others die, right? The body is dying, their parents, grandparents, relatives, neighbors. But what is the most amazing thing? I think those who are still present, they think, I will live forever, right? I will never die. Others are dying. No, that's their problem. That's also very amazing fact. The process of Krishna consciousness is also very amazing, isn't it? It is said that even a person may have done all sorts of wrong activities, but if one takes to the amazing process of Krishna consciousness, like when Srila Prabhupada came to United States almost 55 years back, his audience were not very high kind of cultured people. They were doing all sorts of wrong things when they initially met. But by this amazing process of understanding of the amazing soul, by an amazing devotee, Srila Prabhupada, their life turned amazing. That means from complete ignorance to the complete knowledge of bhakti. Isn't that amazing? Isn't this all amazing? Life's, Krishna's creation. In short, everything is amazing. A tiny seed gives birth to such a big tree, which stretches up to hundreds and hundreds of feet and lives up to hundreds of years. So I want to share some more kind of like amazing facts of Krishna's creation. Like here, this giraffe. All of you see this giraffe? So this giraffe has 11. What's the neck and the feet are quite long. We all know that. Some of us may have seen. So whenever this at least the longest neck the giraffe has, his heart, the motor, you need a pump or a motor to pump the blood up to the brain, right? We all have a heart. The function is to pump the brain, right? Vipul Prabhu, did I say it rightly? Because you know better. He's a cardiologist and so humble. So it needs a motor to pump up. Now, what will happen when he comes down to drink water? All the blood will kind of go into the head. The head is small. The heart is 2 feet long, and it'll kind of explode the brain, right? For those who do Shirshashan, if you keep it doing for, like upside down for 2 hours, we can't do it, right? The head will explode. But there is a one-way check valve. That means when the head goes down, that valve stops the blood from going into the like downward direction. Very, very intricate creation, in short. Whether it's the giraffe or this tiny bird here, a tiny bird, only 3 grams. 3 grams is nothing. 6 million wing beats, flapping 75 times 1 second. Can you imagine? Can we count like that? We can't even count. In 1 second, 75, flaps. 1,000 miles every year, this 3 gram. Can any of our scientists or any, drone manufacturers build kind of this drone, which can fly only 3 grams of weight and fly 1,000 miles every year? No, we can't do that. But God's creation, so intricate, so amazing. This camel, you may have seen, lives 8 days without water. Transparent eyelids. Why? Because in sand dunes and in deserts, because the sand will come, the wind will blow. So they have eyelids. So that means they can see with their eyelids closed. Interesting. Like our eyelids are not transparent. So in short, they have a guard there to protect themselves from the dust, the winds. They have long legs and which are spongy to design for the deserts. 130 liters at one time they can drink. Can you imagine? They have a big tank there. Can hold good amount of water. So in short, everything is amazing. Everything is so amazing if one has that vision to see the amazing thing. It is also amazing that people see all these things, but still, like I gave you the example, how dog kind of brutally killed the 1-year-old who was trying to get close. The dog was not a new dog, 4 years old dog. The 1-year-old tried to get closer to the football, this kind of ruined, look at just think about the family going through that. The mother, killed brutally, shot dead 5 children and then burned the home. Just think about all these are the reality of all this is there in the news all day. So out of millions and millions, so many species are there, and just human species a very tiny fragment of that. In that human species, 99% are, there is absolutely no conception of God. Correct? Majority of the population, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in all this. And even those who believe in God, those who try to understand the true God through a true process, through the true bona fide guru, that fraction is very, 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 very insignificantly small. So we are also blessed and fortunate to receive the right Bhagavad Gita as it is from a right spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. In the right disciplic succession, we talk about the Guru prayers, the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Here we are not talking or teaching any wrong thing because it's coming from Krishna himself, the purest unalloyed message of God. This is Bhagavad Gita. So we are very, very fortunate to, and if we take it sincerely and seriously, Krishna is assuring that we will get the real goal of life. And at the last text, number 30, Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitum arhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Who dwells in the body? Soul dwells in the body, can never be slain. Therefore, you do not grieve for any living being. In short, the text number 30, from I think 11 onwards, the science of body and soul is explained. It is very, very amazing to understand that, read that, hear that. And from 31 onwards, which we'll study in the next session, there's a different topic about karma, etc. So I'll kind of pause here and maybe take some quick reflections or any thoughts or any questions. And for those who joined in the middle, thank you so much, Indra, Mataji, Mohan, Anti, Prabhu, Chandramoli, Prabhu, Sudhir, Prabhu. I'm so grateful to all of you, Nayan, Prabhu, for those who joined somewhere in the middle of the session. Megha Mataji. Anyone has any reflections, thoughts, any comments, additions?
Are we also called irrational when we don't understand the existence of soul and soul living and joining the other bodies? When we lose our near and dear ones, we are consoled by it that the soul withers away to a new body. This is called liberation. Otherwise, we also remain irrational to it up to certain extent.
Thank you. That's a comment or a question? I'm not sure. It's an interesting comment. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Ultimately, it's not. I completely understand. Reading this is very easy, but of course, I think Shri also asked a similar question the other day. That if we experience a loss of a dear one, of course, there is trauma, there is pain, etc. But we discussed that point in one of those sessions, that if we have the true knowledge, then we will not over lament about it, because sometimes people go into depression. I mean, I know of in my own family, my paternal grandmother, so she's still present by Krishna's mercy. She has 3-4 sisters, I believe. So one of the sisters heard the news that the other sister got some heart attack or something, and the sister which heard the news, hearing that news, she died. It's interesting. I mean, it's a real story. And the other sister who got that, who was hospitalized, was still living. So that some go through depression, some go through trauma, but I think Ram Mohan Prabhu also shared. I would suggest you please try to hear that again. It was very good discussion that time we had. So this Bhagavad Gita prepares us to handle all the ups and downs in life. That does not mean we become insensitive to our relationships of this world, but it just helps us to prepare to serve those relationships in the true knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Adna Mataji, you were saying something or asking something, I guess.
You answered my question, because I was wondering if it's irrational for us to grieve for the loss of a loved one as we do. That's what, most people are distraught from a loss of a loved one. So is it considered irrational?
No, it's not irrational. At least for that first few, sometimes it could be days, sometimes it could be weeks. But if it's prolonged for months and months and months and years, and we can't move on, that I would consider that it's not again irrational, because we're not judging anyone. That I would say then that time, because let's say initially, like if someone loses a near and dear one, we don't give, why are you crying? Read Bhagavad Gita. We don't say like that, right? There is when Arjuna lost his child, he was also crying, right? So when the Supreme Lord Ram heard about the news of his father's departure, he was also crying, right? That now, of course, he's teaching the role of an ideal human being. So the point is that, of course, because there is attachment, so those tears are genuine, and for the grief is genuine, but it should not be that one kind of stops continuing his or her duty and stop his life. Oh, I'll just give up my life because now my dear one is no more, or I'll just some people go, as I said, go to depression and just they don't come out of that state, right? So that is not encouraged here in Bhagavad Gita. So thank you. Any other thoughts, comments, any additions? Any reflections from what you heard? Anything really struck you in this discussion about the soul? Anyone wants to add?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can I say something?
Yes, please go ahead.
I had a very good devotee friend of mine. His name was Gagramani Das. And he accompanied his wife to India on pilgrimage last year and visited all the temples and all that. While he was there, his godbrothers was there as well, and his Guru Maharaj was also there. And during the course of his stay, he passed away. And his Mataji related the story to me. And the point I'm trying to make is that when one is imbibed in Krishna consciousness, they take these things very differently than one who does not fully understand. After he passed, he was cremated there, his godbrothers were there, Guru Maharaj was there. He had several children in Caribbean, Trinidad, and no one went because he requested that. He said that he apparently he understood what he was doing. His family also understand the philosophy, so no one rushed to go there and lament, as the case may be. They all knew the philosophy, so that's how devotees should think. That's my contribution, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you. It's a very good point you made, that Krishna consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual process, will equip us to handle every situation of life. To not be too happy, enjoy, and not be too sorrow. Because happiness and distress will come no matter who we are. So, as you said, a devotee will respond to the same situations in a much different way, which an ordinary person would respond to. And that's what is bhakti. To understand what is the right response and how do we keep moving. Because ups and downs will come in everyone's life. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu, dhruva janma mritasya cha. Right? We all have to, at one point or the other, sorry if it sounds sad, but it's the reality. We don't want to kind of be we're not saying it is pessimistic to talk about death. It's not pessimistic, it's realistic. To not talk about the realities of life is actually foolishness, right? Okay, so I think it's 7 o'clock here in Eastern Zone, so we will pause here. And I again thank all of you for your association, for your enthusiasm in learning and understanding, reading Bhagavad Gita and sharing your wonderful thoughts. And so tomorrow is a very special day. We are talking about Karuna. So Karuna Avatara is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So try to take part in the celebrations, which will start from the morning. And you still don't have the information about it, text me, message me, I can certainly share with you. And there will be evening program, which will have Abhishek, Kirtan, and Lord Gauranga's Karuna Katha. So he is not different from the Supreme Lord, especially come in this day and age to give this message of Krishna consciousness to all of us, no matter whichever country may we be in, no matter whatever backgrounds we may have. So please try to observe that special day. It's like Janmashtami. It's even more important than Janmashtami for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Okay, so we'll pause here. Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.